to first of all know that, since you all have, landed up in the session today, do you want to write a book? Yes, you want to write a book. Okay. So if you can help me understand that, why do you want to write a book? Of course, we will be covering all of this in our session today, but just a general curious question that
May I?
if you write a
May I
book,
tell?
yeah, sure.
Basically, I've lived my life now. I'm 50 plus.
Okay.
So, being a literature and English teacher, lot of life experiences, incidents I've seen, I've read, I've heard, I've met people. So I feel that I should put it in a form of a narrative. I've never got the time, but I feel that I should do it. So it helps the next generation maybe either to overcome the mistakes or for redemption also at times, or just to take decisions.
Okay, great.
This is a
Thanks.
broad
Thanks.
view.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Hi, Ami. Good evening.
Hi. How are you?
We know Anu or Shilpi? Who's Anu?
No, that's myself. My
That's you.
husband's name. Always, every time I enter.
Anup है ना तो Anu हो गया अभी.
हाँ, Anup. So,
Okay.
no.
No, there is Anu also.
Okay, there's Anu. Okay.
Yes,
All
Anusha.
right. I thought Anup Shah, so I said my
Anu
husband's
is you.
name.
We know that by now. So Anu a member? Not sure.
May I
Nice.
request Miss Anu to unmute and introduce? Maybe she has logged in with some other ID.
Yes, Anu, if you could just write in the chat box where you're from, so it'll just help us to identify whether you're a member or not. Pooja, okay. All right, great. Thank you so much, Pooja. Yes, Dr. Shafiq, I'm saying Anu. Ami, if now that you all have landed in the session, it was just a curious question to all of you that, since you have landed in this session, what is the reason for landing out here? I know you want to write a book. So my next question to you is, why do you want to write a book?
No, I'm just inquisitive how to go about with book writing and just gain some knowledge. I right now I don't foresee myself for writing any book or anything, but maybe some tips just to develop writing habit that can help me. So
Okay,
so that's it. Like why I have joined.
great. Thank you. Thank you so much for being honest. Dr. Shafiq, if you could share, is it okay?
Yeah. There could be, more than one reasons. One, I think, already been mentioned. The second would be like on any particular topic, when you read a couple of books or more than that, so you feel there is a lesson. I mean, any author, he or she may have particular mindset, and whatever he or she thinks, they're right. But when you read a few books on a particular topic, you see there's some gaps. Okay? So when you read all these books and you gather some information and knowledge, and then you come up with something, which can cater to the needs of those gaps. This could be one. The second could be, what to say? If you have something in your mind, I mean, thought process going on, but you want to pass it on to the next generation or the generation to come. That could be another reason for me, if at all I want to write it.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Shafiq, for sharing. And rightly said, one is to leave behind a legacy. The other is to, Ami said that, yeah, I'm curious. I just want to understand. And if it is doable, feasible by me, if I can really get to writing, pretty much the similar thoughts that I had when I got started, that, oh my God, because I landed up accidentally in that webinar, and, I was told that, okay, you have to write a book now that you have landed up in this webinar. And I was like, no way, I can't write a book, I'll be there as a silent observer. And then I was asked that, no, if you want to be a silent observer, then just, sign out. And then that is something that came to my ego. I said, Nini, I will not sign out. I will be there. So yeah, pretty much same boat. And as Dr. Shafiq said that, yeah, if you have an idea and you want to share it with the world, then why take it up might as well share and go, right? So some of the possible reasons are great to understand. So allow me to share my screen and let us look at today's session, where what we're going to be doing is, it's basically going to, today's masterclass is going to basically help you sow some seeds of thought that, like Ami said, that do I really need to write? Is it feasible? Is it going to be time consuming? What is it? So there are certain myths, there are certain moments of doom that we all will go through when we are asked to do something. It's like, when I tell my teenager that, okay, your phone is going to be taken away. So it's like a moment of doom for him, right? Just a second. Yeah. I'll just adjust my screen. Bring this down and enlarge this. There we go. All right. So today's session is, of course, about art of writing. And as I shared earlier, that, being an author and having been in the same situation, I kind of understand what is the thought process and what is the mindset that is required to be able to write a book. And at the same time, I will also be sharing certain moments of doom, which I experienced when I was going through the process of writing a book. Because at that point in time, ChatGPT was fairly new. We were using it, but we were not using it to that extent. The art of prompting was not that well known. It was not that, I would say, so many AI tools that we have today. 1.5 years ago, these many AI tools were not there. Today, there are so many AI tools that you just need to write the topic, you just need to give a description, and the book is ready. So that's how easy it has become to write a book today. So let's look at some of the myths, some of the moments, doom moments that we all go through, and how is it that we can overcome this, and how is it that we can actually come to a conclusion that it's doable, right? Great. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be sharing my moments of doom. Not necessarily you are going to be experiencing the same. You may experience something totally different, or you may not experience anything at all, right? So let us come. So this is a very common thing, right? Moment of doom number one, where I don't have time. Do you all agree that this is something which is very common? And the moment you are asked to do something, it's very instinct in us to say that, "Oh, I don't have time." Be it your child, be it your husband, any demand made on you, the first instinct is that do it yourself. I don't have time, right? True, false? How many of us agree with this? True, right? But actually, it's a myth, because we all have the same number of hours. We all have 24 hours with us. And it is also said that there's always, always, always going to be enough time for something that is very, very important to you. So it's like, for example, if I have a goal, for example, if I want to lose weight before, let's say, December 31st, 2024, I want to lose another 2 kgs. If that's my goal and it's important to me, no matter what comes my way, I am going to hit the gym. No matter what happens, even if I can't hit the gym, I'm going to be exercising at home, but I'm not going to be giving up on that goal, because it's important to me, because I want to probably fit into that skimpy dress that I have got for New Year. Whatever could be the goal. So that's how mind plays games with us, where it instinctively gives us a reason for not acting upon a goal. It says, it gives us umpteen number of reasons. This is just one of the reasons that I've written it down, that I don't have time. But the truth is that there's always enough time if it is important to you. So if your goal is important, then there is going to be time. Now, speaking about goals, how many of us actually write down our goals? Say, if you want to write a book, have you written it down? That I am a published author. My book has been published on 25th December 2024. Let's say, if that's your aim. So any aim for that matter. So do we write our goals? Yeah, Pooja, you wanted to share something.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, I have the goals in my mind, but I don't write them or pen them down.
Many of us do that. Yeah. Why does that happen?
I think taking out time actually and sitting and that's one thing that we are constantly on a move. There are 10 things which are going on at the same time, trying to multitask.
Yeah. Great. Good insights. Trying to multitask. Very, very true. We all try to multitask. We feel that It's like you're sitting in the car, you have the GPS on, you have the map in front of you, but you don't want to follow the map. You want to go your own way. You want to find out your own way, which is okay. You can do that. Nobody can stop you. But it's just that we feel that instead of having the map in front of us all the time, which is obviously become a habit now. The moment we sit in the car, we put on the GPS. But in actual life, what we do is we have our goals, but instead of putting it down on a paper or instead of penning it down somewhere, what we do is we keep it in our mind. We keep thinking about it whenever we want to think about it. And what happens is these goals get taken over by new goals. And that's what happened. It keeps piling up, and we have multiple goals to achieve then. And it so happens that we have forgotten our first goal. That, okay, what was it that I started off with, and where is it that I am today, and how is it that I have the previous goals have helped me to achieve the newer goals? Because it's always going to be that as you achieve the previous ones, you're going to get help to achieve the newer ones. So it is very similar to not using GPS. It's like when you want to find a new way, you use the GPS. Similarly, if you have a goal, you need to write it down either on your phone or either in your app or either in your journal or either in your daily book, which you have, which you maintain, wherever. It could be on your board, whiteboard, wherever. It's very important to write down. Be it daily goals, be it weekly goals, be it monthly goals, it is very important to write them down. So that's number one, because that is what is going to help you to achieve it. If not now, then at least 3 months down the line, you will see it happening. And why do we say that? Why do we say that when we write down our goals, we will see it becoming true? Why do we say that?
Because
Or
it becomes
we'll see
time
ourselves.
bound.
Perfect. It becomes time bound. What else?
We come to know how much we are closer to the goal. Like every step we take, a reflection would help if we have written it down. So
Yeah.
we know we are one step closer to it.
Absolutely. So it's time bound. We are able to calculate whether we are getting closer to it. We are able to reflect whether we are on the right track, whether we should be doing this to achieve a goal or not. And what else? What else do you
And
think happens?
somewhere, that's my view. If I write, it happens. I don't know. I mean, that's how it is. There are many things, when we are doing multitasking, many things are there on our mind. But certain thing, your priorities there, or you think something you may forget, but this is very important, and you pen it down. And then after a few days or something, when you're going through, oh yes, this is done, no? So even like for me, like even daily, like if you have to buy a lot of things from the market and I write it down, then I'm able to do it. Otherwise, I tend to forget, few things again, go and all that. So, right,
checklist.
yes,
Absolutely.
it helps. No, it just helps. Happens.
It's a to-do checklist that, okay, the goal for today is to do this. And the moment you see it getting ticked off, what happens?
The feeling of harsh, it's done. You
Sense of
feel
achievement.
happy. Yeah, achieved.
Similarly, this is what you're going to be feeling if you write down this goal of writing a book. If it is important to you and if you really want to do this, then you must write it down. And you must write it down, Banalo. You must write it down, and then you will see it happen in the next few days or in the next few months. But without writing it down, it is still a distant possibility. It is not a close possibility. So first step is to write it down if it is of importance to you, and write it down in a present tense mode, that you have a book by the name dash, title dash. So we will go through that process. So we will do that. We will write it down. Let's go ahead. So there is this principle called momentum principle of success. Have you all heard of this word momentum? Yeah, I'm sure, right? So what do we mean by momentum principle of success? It's very simple. It's like when you push one edge of the ball over here, which is shown over here. When you push one edge, what happens to the remaining?
They keep
It
moving.
moves.
Absolutely.
All the other
They
moves
will move.
in
Do I
calling.
have to move each
Yeah.
and every pendulum that is over here, or do I just need to give a push? Do I just need to push the first one and the remaining ones will
And the
move?
remaining will move. And
Absolutely. So if I push the pink one, which is at the end, or if I push the red one, which is on the other end, whichever ones I push, the remaining ones are going to move by default. That's the momentum principle, right? Because they get a push. Similarly, the art of writing your book follows the principle of momentum. The first thing, what we just discussed, is that first thing is to write down that, yes, I am an author. I have written a book, right? I have written a book. The title of my book is dash. It is published on dash. So when we write down our goal, because it is important to us, we want to learn the art of writing a book. We want to create something. We want to leave it for the world. We don't know who's going to read it. Of course, that's a different thing. But yet, if it is of value, if it is something that we have learned and we want to share it with the world, then the first thing to do is to make it of priority, to make it a topmost priority to share it. If we have made it the topmost priority to share it, we will write it down. If we will write it down, then we need to get into the momentum. Now, how do we get into the momentum? Because always, whenever we begin anything new, there's always this inertia that, oh my God, how's it going to happen? It's always that, like a weight of 25 kg somebody has put on your head. Like, how am I going to move? I can't even move, right? But there is a trick over here. You need to trick your brain, just like your brain tricks you and tells you that it's a humongous task. It's not going to be possible. And I don't know if I will have the time, the myth that I shared, because we all have the time. So the momentum principle lies in tricking your brain. When you need to tell yourself, you need to tell your brain and you need to tell yourself that I'm writing no matter what. So very simple. You just got to stay away from all the talking that your mind is going to be doing at that point in time, because your mind is going to be giving you hundreds and thousands and lakhs of excuses not to write. Why do you need to write? You're at that age where you need to relax. Why do you want to take pressure? What if nobody reads the book? What if the book goes out there and there is, absolutely no sale of book? What if? It's very, very, very natural to fall into that what if loop. But the trick over here is to go against the what if and just get started. Now, once you pick up the pen, if you are someone like me who likes to write, or once you take your laptop and sit down, where if you're comfortable, writing, penning down your thoughts on your desktop or laptop, few words come on the paper, or once you see few words in your document, it has set the ball rolling. And that's about it. That is what is needed to write a book. If I were to share that this is what you need to write a book, would you believe it? All you need is to write a few words about your book. Would you believe it? Difficult, right? Difficult to believe, right? Then how can you get started with just writing a few words? Or how can you get started by just, getting some thoughts down? The book needs to be of X number of pages. The book needs to have so many other chapters. The book needs to be organized. There has to be this, right? Again, what if, this, that, we all have these biases where we feel that it needs to be perfect. It's my first book. It needs to have some kind of X factor. It's going to be my first book. If I go and walk across in the room, or if I have a book review, it has to have certain kind of image. It has to have certain kind of content. It has to follow a certain kind of language or genre, whatever it is, right? We all have expectations, right? And that is what is stopping us from writing a book, because we have expectations. What if I told you that if you have no expectations, it's easy to write a book? Is it possible to have zero expectations? Do you think it's possible? I don't know, I'm asking.
Then will you justify what you are doing if you have no expectation from yourself? Yes.
Absolutely. If you have no expectation from yourself, will you justify what you're doing? You tell me.
Maybe I may start, but there is, I will not go ahead with it, because maybe the attitude is hota hai, chalta hai, ho jayega, nahi hoga to kya hoga. So,
okay. Okay. So if I complete, I complete. If I don't complete, I don't complete.
Big deal.
Okay. All right. And if you don't complete, what's going to happen?
I'm not answerable to anyone, probably.
Okay.
So,
And
no, because I don't have any expectation from it. I'm writing. I have started with my ideas, but maybe because of a lot of other things, I'm not able to do it. And then I don't keep it as my priority. And then with passage of time, it may just wean off. And okay, so I've written 10 pages, but now tomorrow I have wedding, day after I have no classes, I'm busy. Because then
life takes over.
I,
You're
I
not answerable.
yeah.
You need to understand, we are not answerable to anybody. When I was writing a book, I was not answerable to anybody. Nobody had put a gun, on my head and said, sit down for the next 5 days and write a book. Nobody had done that. I had certain expectations. It's because it's difficult not to have expectations. I had certain expectations, and that is what stopped me from starting the process. But once I started it, those expectations were actual excuses. They were not really expectations. They were actually excuses that were stopping me. And as you rightly said, we are not answerable to anyone. We Life keeps happening. There are instances that keep happening. So then why do we do? Why do we want to get into this then? Life anyway keeps happening. So why do we even, do what we do on a daily basis?
I think we are our own critic.
Yeah, we are our own.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
so I get stuck at this one point. At times I started also writing because this was something long overdue. So from 3 years I was writing creative writing book, all that I've made also. Where I was getting stuck was how will I publish it? I don't know how to do it on Kindle. I don't understand the process and how much tech savvy I have become right now in last 2 years. That was one point that how I'll publish. And I went and met also someone who told, but then obviously she had her office change or something. I think the publisher or someone. So that was the whole idea. So publishing part is something where I get always stuck. Not the writing, it's the publishing part. I don't know how to do it on Amazon Kindle.
Yeah. So that's something which is the latter part. But the white elephant is how do you write the book, right? That's the premise. If you don't have a book, then forget, why will you even publish it? You won't even get to the publishing factor. So when we are not answerable, so coming down to Ami's question, when we are not answerable and when we are not accountable, and if we are not having any expectations, then will we be able to do anything? Forget writing a book. Will we be able to do anything for that matter?
I would like to say something.
Yeah, sure. Leena. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if we decide to write a book, first thing, though, we have to be passionate about it. If we are not passionate, we are not.
Absolutely.
We need passion, we need commitment, and we need consistency. So, if we have that and we every day, end of the day, we reflect back, have I taken a step towards my goal before sleeping? I guess that will be enough. Many a times we do not commit for our needs, and we are more committed to others because we feel if we put everyone's need first, our need first, it's a kind of a guilt we feel. Oh no, it should not be me first, it should be others first. Rather, it should be me first. If we are not going to love ourselves and keep our needs in place, we won't do justice to others also.
Yeah, very well said. If you have set aside time that, okay, the next 15 days or the next 5 days, I'm going to be devoting this much amount of time between 5 and 7 or between 8 to 10 for writing a book, and you communicate the same to your kids, to your spouse, and you tell them that I need support. I want you all to manage during this amount, this time. Do you think they will be supportive or they will not be supportive?
They will be supportive, Raki. Most of the time, today's generation is more considerate, and the end result is that you never said that you needed it.
Correct.
So it's better
Absolutely.
to communicate what we need rather than to be in an anticipation what the other person will be thinking about it.
Yes. So coming back to accountability, coming back to not being answerable to anyone, Leena rightly said that if you have the passion, you're going to be accountable, you're going to be answerable to your own self, and you're going to work towards it. So just like you're passionate about teaching, right? So you have your own class, you work towards it, you prepare your session, you just don't go unprepared into the classroom. Why? Because you're passionate about what you deliver in the classroom. And that's the reason why you go that extra mile, so that you know that what you bring into the classroom is something that which you can only bring, nobody else can bring. So that becomes your bit of doing, of pursuing your passion. So similarly, writing a book is pretty much like teaching in a classroom. If you're passionate, you're going to take it up. If you're not passionate, might as well not get into the classroom teaching. Secondly, if you have a strong motivation to do it, and that is where we need to understand what is the reason. So at the beginning itself, I was just talking to fellow educators who joined, and I just asked them that, okay, you have joined the session, but what makes you join? So why do you want to write a book? What's the reason to write? Because till the time that reason is not sure enough and is not convincing enough to you, you will not be able to write the book. So what is going to be your motivation? What is it that you want to write? Now, I'm going to be presenting n number of reasons why people write the book. Now, if you're not aware of why you want to write that book, maybe these reasons will help you reflect and understand that, okay, these are possibly the reasons I want to write my book. Now, my only request is, as we go through the slides, and if you find any of the reasons matching with yours, just pen it down so that as we move ahead, you will be able to frame your goal towards the end of today's session, right? Shall we move ahead? We'll go. Great. So we know that we've come across people who have written books. We've come across some of the great authors, Ankur Waraku, Sheryl Sandberg, we have Guru Gopal Das, we have this Sattvic Revolution, which is by Harish Chandra, and I forgot that lady's name who's the author. And then, of course, that's my book. So when people write book, they have a reason in their mind, right? Now, before we get into the reasons that you're going to be seeing, can you share a few? Why do you think people write books? Looking at the authors, why do you think they wrote books?
To share something which motivated them or helped, change their lives.
Okay, so probably they wanted to share something which probably motivated them. Okay.
To bring about awareness of certain topics.
Yes, to bring about awareness, like the one we see over Sattvic Revolution, where it brings about awareness of how the food needs to be and how Sattvic food can be introduced into your kitchen in a very simple way. Yeah. So it's about sharing information. Okay. Any other reasons? Why do you think Ankur Wariku wrote a book? Why do you think Sheryl Sandberg wrote a book? Why do you think Guru Gopal Das wrote a book? Just taking a guess.
Passionate about writing.
Okay.
To connect
Rather
with
the
more
passion, passionate about the writing will be follow. Before that will be to be passionate about anything. If any one genre or a topic or a something, if I'm passionate about it, maybe my thoughts will be, they will be expanded to the thing that I'm giving words, vocabulary to my thoughts, to my passion. So maybe it is spirituality or whatever.
Spirituality, okay. It could be anything. We have for Wariku, it was to add to his personal brand, okay, to create his personal branding and reach an audience who prefers reading than consume others' content. Okay, great. Why do you think Guru Gopal Das wrote a book? He's anyway so famous. He keeps giving speeches and he's a keynote speaker at so many events. Why do you think he needs to write a book? He's already an influencer. He's already made his mark.
To reach out to a larger audience, maybe the ones who are not watching him on social media or don't know. And
I also feel the same as Ami.
Yes, Leena, miss.
I second you. I was thinking on the same line.
Same lines.
Maybe there are people who would like to have that time when read at their leisure. So maybe they have that book in there.
Yeah, probably. Yes. So there are certain people who prefer the books. There are certain people who prefer audio visual. So he's kind of written it to reach out to a vast audience so that his archives are maintained. Okay, fair enough. Now let's look at some of the possible reasons why.
Okay, there's another one. Sorry,
Sure.
there's another one that sometimes when you have a big, large following, the publisher will come to you and say, please write a book because it's going to sell copies. So for Variku
They make
and
money.
for Gopal Dasgor, that is what would have happened because
Money.
they already have a large following. So somebody came and said, please write a book.
Correct. And then a big publishers, it's very easy to rope in big publishers because you're already an influencer, you're already well known. So big publishers, they don't mind publishing your book. And because
No, what I'm trying to say is that it's the other way around. The publisher will come to you and say, write a book.
both ways,
Because-
yeah. The
yeah.
publisher will come to you, and you could also reach out and say that, hey, I've already written a book. Would you like to publish it? They'll be like happily grab it up and say, yes, we will publish it. Why not?
Mm.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that perspective. Now, here are some of the reasons why authors possibly get into writing book. Number one is to make more money. Now, we all know Ankur Warikoo has made money not only by writing book, but also by preparing a course module out of that book. So a large portion of his community it becomes a lead generating funnel for him, where through his books, he's creating awareness about the course that he has created, about the community that he has created. And that's how he's getting more and more people enrolled into his community through his book. And he's making money, making more impact. So obviously, if I have something which has changed my life, or I have some pedagogy, or I have some methodology about something, and I want the whole world to know it, and I want people to follow it, like we have that Sattvic movement, which we saw, where it's a pedagogy, where sorry, it's basically a science where it shares recipes, it shares about the science behind eating Sattvic food. And it kind of helps you understand that how in the simplest of the simplest manner, you can actually alter your recipes in the kitchen to bring in good ingredients into your food. So you're creating an impact, becoming famous again, like Guru Gaur Gopal Das is already famous, but by writing a book and by getting it published from on a larger platform, he's obviously becoming famous. It adds to his image as well as it adds to his authority. Leave a legacy behind. Zainab said that, okay, I've lived my life, and now whatever knowledge I have, I feel I should actually pen it down and I should share it with the world. So leaving a legacy behind. Sorry, why is it now? Okay, I've forgotten to change the numbers. Yeah. Get a job. There are some people who actually get into book writing so that they can build some authority, and because they are able to build authority, then it becomes possible for them to leverage it by getting a better job because of the book that they have written. Because whenever you write a book, it shows your expertise in something. And believe me, if you want to learn about something rather than reading, the main thing is that if you want to learn about something, you get into writing it. Because the more you want to learn about something and the more you write about it, the more you become an expert at it. So let's say that you picked up a book on Stephen Covey's book on 7 habits of effective people. Now you read that book, and you try implementing a few of those principles into your life. But if you were to read that book and then pen down your thoughts about what you have learned from it, the learning is going to stay with you, and you're going to be much more mindful about implementing that learning. So the more you write about something that you want to learn, the more you are getting an expert at it, and the more you're getting mindful about implementing it in your lifestyle, as compared to just reading or as compared to just watching and let it pass by. Because the more we read, the more we watch and let it pass by without actually absorbing it, the more cognitive load is happening. Because on a daily basis, we read a lot, we watch a lot, we consume a lot of content. So there's a lot of cognitive load already, which is prevailing. And on top of that, we are adding more and more and more. But when we write, it is actually getting into the muscle memory where we are saying that, yes, this is something that I really want to work upon. And this is something that I really want to learn more about. So that's the magic. If you want to learn something, get down to writing about it, get down to actually researching about it and then writing about it. So create and grow your business. Some people write to create and grow their business. So if they're doing something, they write a book about their product that they're selling, or they write a book about some kind of service, or some kind of product or any idea that they have created. They want to write about it and they want to sell it to the audience, so that the audience can also then know more about them and buy their service. For example, complete a challenge. So this is quite trending, challenges, where nowadays everybody is, sharing challenges, and people feel that if I'm a part of the challenge, I will be able to do it. So just want to understand that why do you think completing a challenge, something like write your own book, will actually help you write your own book? Just want to understand. Have you ever become a part of any challenge? Anybody? No? Any challenge recently that you have taken up? Could be anything.
Already having many challenges at school, unexpected, and I'm saying unexpected challenges are already there every day, every day. And when we motivate ourselves and we accept that challenge, then only we are moving further. And we are surviving in this world right now.
Okay. Great. So Leena says yoga completed 3 months with busy schedule. Wow. Yeah, that's a challenge. That's indeed a challenge. And apart from that, we also have all daily challenges that keep coming our way. And we are, of course, fighting it out on a daily basis and trying to maneuver our way out of it. So when you complete a challenge, what happens?
Sense of satisfaction, achievement,
Sense of achievement. It gives a boost to your confidence.
confidence.
Yeah. And then you feel that, okay, if this is something that I can do, then I can do this also. If A is manageable, then B will also be manageable. So completing a challenge. So many people feel that, okay, till the time I'm not forced to do it, till the time I'm not challenged to do it, I will not be able to do it. So many people come across challenges, they sign up for the challenge, and then they realize, oh my God, I actually did it, because thanks to the challenge, I did it, right? So yeah, that's one of the reasons. To become free. Now, again, I have so many thoughts, I have so many ideas. I just want to pen it down. I want to kind of organize it, and then I want to put it across in a manner that the world will appreciate it, so that I'm free of that. I'm free of that knowledge. So that's another reason why people write a book. Increase your status. How many of you all believe that people write to increase the status? Yes, no? When you write a book, does it add to your status?
I think these are all bells and whistles. You have to be a good writer to write a good book. If your book, no matter what you are looking for, if you write a bad book, it's still a bad book. So at the end of the day, I personally, let me just switch on my camera. Hi, sorry. So I also don't like this whole connotation of people writing to increase their status, to let's say, because it's going to get you something, because then that whole focus on writing has taken off, because your book is very transactional. You look at it from a very transactional point of view. Also from the point of view of sharing your own perspective or experience. Why will anybody want to pick up your book? Let's always ask ourselves that, right?
Correct.
If you had exhibited something, if you have practiced something, if you've done something, you're a teacher who has worked with a certain intervention over a period of time, you have gathered evidence, and nobody else is doing that. That's your unique perspective, your unique story to tell. Not because that I will write this, I will get a better job. I will write this and I will become famous. I will write this and I will make hundreds and billions of rupees. I will write this and I'll be able to course around it. So somewhere a lot of writing coaches bring that, write a book so that you suddenly become famous, as if writing a book is the shortcut. I'm sorry, but there are hundreds and thousands of books which are not being
Have
bought,
been written. Yes.
right? And they've been written, and self-publishing also works like that, or even traditional publishing. There's no guarantee that your book has been published and you suddenly become very famous.
Yeah.
So I think understanding what makes your perspective unique, and why will anybody want to pay even 100 rupees or 50 rupees for that matter to
Yeah.
buy a book. So because I think if we don't steer that from the start, then your end objective will be so flawed that you're expecting that I put in, okay, 1 hour every day for the last 365 days, I have written a book, and it's not even selling for selling 365 copies, because
Correct.
it may not be a good book.
Yeah, we do
So
have authors, and it's quite demotivating. And Yeah. So
yeah, it's important to know that there are more books not being sold than being books which are being sold. So it's important to not jump into the whole exercise of writing a book just because it will give you, it's going to give you
So
something.
these are some possible reasons why different people want to write, because today there are ghostwriters, today there are bots, today there are AI tools which can actually write books for you. So these are some possible reasons why people feel that, okay, if I'm at that particular status, maybe writing a book will add to it. Maybe writing a book will maybe boost my authority in the market. Maybe writing a book will help me get a better job. The multiple reasons for multiple people. What reason resonates with you? Probably that is something that you can jot it down. So I'm just sharing like multiple reasons for people to share, for people to write, because some of the people I interacted with, they had these kind of goals that, yeah, I'm writing to, improve my status, because it's like a visiting card. Wherever I go, I can then present it to people and let them know that, okay, I'm an expert at this, or, I am good at this. So different reasons for different people. How it affects their writing style, that's like a different story altogether. Who buys their books, that's again a different story altogether. So some of the other reason is that when people have gone through a lot in life, so for example, self-help books, where people have gone through certain illnesses, they've fought certain diseases, they want to share the story of how they overcome those kind of situations in life, so that they can inspire others and they can create an impact in their life. So again, sharing a story, if I have a story I want to share, I can get into writing a book. Expressing your creativity, again, there's something that I have worked upon, an idea that I have worked upon, which is creative, which is innovative, and I want people to try it out. Again, it can be helped by writing a book. Something that you want to prove, there's something that you want to prove to the world, or there's something that's your innate goal that you have achieved, and you want to prove to the world that it's possible. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Like, you have climbed maybe Mount Everest or whatever it could be, and you have proved it to the world, and then you just want to write your journey of how you went through it, how was your mindset, and what you did in order to achieve it. So that's again a point that you want to prove, and the journey behind it, so you can share it with the world. So again, to prove it, you're writing it. To motivate others, there are umpteen number of books in the market which are available, motivational books, self-help books, which can motivate you. So sometimes when you read these kind of books, you feel motivated for a certain amount of time, and then you're like, okay, yes, I can do it. If this person has done it, even I can do it. To increase your confidence, that goes without saying, because it's like an achievement. When you achieve something, it increases your confidence by default. To be admired, that when you write a book, and if it is liked, and if it happens to become the best-selling book, then obviously, there's a sense of admiration that people have, and wherever you go, you're talked about. So again, there's another reason for that. To support a cause, many a times you support a cause, and that's how you want to write a book, so that people become aware about that cause. So as I said, that there are umpteen number of reasons why people would get into writing a book. But what is important is to know your why, because till the time you don't know your why, you will not be able to get started. No matter how many ever reasons I put across in front of you, if you're not able to identify your why, that why am I getting into writing a book, you will not be able to start. And then life will happen. You will not be accountable, you will not be answerable, and you will be okay with letting it go. You will be okay with that dream taking a standby. So it's okay, I don't want to do it, I really didn't want to do it, I was just trying it. Yeah. So that's the excuse you give yourself, because it couldn't happen. So how do we know our why? Yes, Dr. Shafiq, I'll come to that in another 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. Is that okay? Printed book versus ebook. Yeah. So how do we know our why?
Maybe we can brainstorm the purpose with somebody.
Wow, lovely. You can brainstorm. Okay. How else will you know your why?
By making a checklist and understanding like which genre you want to go, why, reflecting. So if you want to self-help book, something like what problems others are facing, how you can help them. So basically like a mind map or a
Okay.
checklist.
Okay, great. Making a checklist, brainstorming. How else do we know our why? Then why am I writing a book? These reasons sound pretty good enough that, okay, I want to leave a legacy behind, I want to share what knowledge that I have. But what is actually something, what is the core reason of writing your book? How do we come to that?
So to me, it is about what part of me do I want to unlock as a writer? Because if I'm writing for the first time, number one, and who will it serve? So, and how? What will it do for them? What is it going to serve? So there are three things in that. Starting with what will it do for me to me is a very important starting point, because we have to make it meaningful for ourselves. If you can cover your transformation from point one to the other point, then your writing process is, you're accountable to it. You are progressive. Like, for example, even when you want to go in for a gym, and you know that if you want to lose weight or you want to go fitter, so if you want to know what is in it for you, why are you doing it for yourself, then yes, then find other people to validate with. Like, what does it mean for my family? What does it mean for anyone else? For my profession, if I get fitter, what will it mean for my profession? So those are other things, but they has to start with me. So these are three things which will matter, from the self to the others. That my book, how will it serve others? What will it help them do? That's it.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this. So there are, again, n number of reasons, but a few topmost reasons to know your why is, as rightly said, that you need to know your audience. Whom are you writing for? And are you writing for the kids? Are you writing for the adults? Are you writing for teachers? Are you writing for, your community members? Are you writing for, whom are you writing for? Without knowing that whose audience that you're writing for, it will not be easy to understand your why. So if you're writing for teachers, okay, fine. You're writing for principals, okay. You're writing for leaders, okay. You're writing for general public, it's a self-help book, okay. You're writing for children, it's a storybook, fine, understood. So the first step is to identify who's your audience, whom are you writing for, So you have your innate goal to write, but whom are you writing for? That's the first step. So identifying your audience, who are you writing for? Next is trying to understand the pain point of those audience. So for example, if I'm writing for teachers, I'm going to brainstorm and understand what are the problems and challenges that teachers are facing today, right? And then I'm going to pen down like around 20 challenges that the teachers are facing today. And from that, I'm going to identify that, okay, what is it that I would like to share, which I already know a lot about? Is it about let's say a certain type of pedagogy? Is it about a certain type of methodology? Is it about a certain type of activity or experiential learning? What is it that I want to cater to, which I already know and I would love to know more about, and get into that, right? So if there is something which motivates you, so let's say when you have brainstormed the challenges of your audience, and then you pick up one topic which you feel you want to learn more about, and that topic also motivates you to get back to do some more research, that's going to be your hook. Because if it is not motivating for you, you're never going to be able to do research. You're never going to be able to pick up the pen and write. Even though you know a little bit about it, you will never be able to write. There's always going to be a mental block. So identify your audience, identify the challenges your audience face, pick up one of the challenges which you feel resonates with you, and you will actually want to learn more about and will be motivated enough to write and share more about. After you're done with that, what is it that we need to do is we need to understand that how is it that the book is going to help. Then that comes the latter part of it, that how is it going to help you. Till the time these pillars are not well defined, you will not be able to get to the answer of how the book is going to be helpful. So once these pillars are defined, then you can move to the next idea about how is it that you can make your book helpful. What are the kind of strategies that you can share, right? So then that forms the premise of your book, where you actually cover strategies. You will actually cover your daily experiences that you've had in the classroom. You will actually cover the case studies that you have with your audience, so that they are convinced about what you're trying to tell them, right? You're not just sharing gyan with them. You may be researching about what the statistics kind of reveal about the problem that you're trying to solve. But apart from statistics, people want to know, what have you done about the problem? How are you solving the problem? How have you implemented the strategies that you are talking about, right? People want to know that, right? So how is it that you're going to present this? Because this is going to help your audience. How you tackled it, how you implemented those strategies in the classroom, what are the kind of case studies you have experienced. When you share all of that, that forms the premise where people will be convinced that, yeah, these strategies work. The author has also tried, and these are all doable. This is not some gyan that the author is sharing. These are all very practical, doable strategies, and it can be tried and it can be tested in the classroom. Then people will get convinced. And then, of course, towards the end, once you have helped the audience, you will also establish your with conviction your strategy, that okay, now that I have shared what I have shared, you may also try it and be more creative and alter it. So you are also letting the audience know that you're free to try it, you're free to tweak it, you're free to take it and implement it and do it in your way, in whatever possible way you want to do it. So you're letting it free, right? So these are some of the steps where you need to identify that, okay, have I identified my audience? Have I identified some of the challenges that my audience faces? Have I identified from those challenges one particular challenge that I want to work upon, where I will be motivated, where nobody will have to tell me that, hey, come on, sit down, research, right? Nobody's going to tell me. I will myself be motivated to do that. And then because I'm motivated, I will also share what have I done as a teacher. If I'm writing for teachers, what have I done myself to bring about a change? What have I done myself to grow, right? Once all these established, once all this is established, then you will know the reason why I'm writing this book. Now, what I want you all to do, everyone, is we have actually covered majority of the reasons why one should write a book. Now, I want you to write down your reason. Why am I writing a book? I want you to write this down. The reason why am I writing this book? Title chhod do, sab kuch chhod do. Just write down the reason. The reason why I am writing this book. Just write that down. I just give you like 30 seconds. Just write that down. Why am I writing this book? That. Now think about how your life will be when your book is written. Or for that matter, let's simplify it further. How is it that you're going to feel once this book is written? Write that down. You have written down your reason, and now you're writing. How are you going to feel when your book is written? Something that you have accomplished and it's done. Done? Would anybody like to share? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Anybody would like to share? The reason and the feeling. Anybody would like to share?
The reason for my book will be my love to my subject.
Okay.
And the what you
Feel.
said, that one.
Feeling.
So
Feeling. Once your book is complete, how will you feel?
I will feel This subject has given me a lot in my life. So something I have done for my subject to give it to the world.
So feeling of gratitude is what you will feel that, yeah, I've
Yeah,
done something, I've
correct.
achieved something, and I've shared something with the world. So I've actually, let that knowledge out. So feeling of gratitude is what you will experience. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. So once we get the reason, and once we are positive and we understand the feeling behind writing the book, then becomes important is to set the premise of the book. Now, what is premise of the book is, the premise of the book becomes the quality, basically the story that you're going to be sharing. It could be the strategy, it could be the story, it could be the cause that you're writing about. It could be the product that you have developed that you're talking about. It could be a service that you have established and you want to share about. So whatever it is, whatever is that content, that becomes the premise of the book. The premise of the book is again a part of the reason, one of the challenges that you have identified yourself with. So for example, if I know that I'm writing for teachers, and I know that majority of the teachers don't know what are the different possible ways of teaching in a classroom, and if I pick that topic, I'm going to be sharing strategies, I'm going to be sharing case studies, and the premise of the book will be to share strategies. That's going to be the premise of the book, where I'm convincing educators that yes, these are some of the strategies that will work in your classroom. So premise is nothing but the point that you're trying to prove to your audience, or the content that you are wanting to share with the audience, which you have already experienced. That forms the premise of the book, and that helps you to organize your book into chapters. So what are the different kind of chapters that you're going to be sharing, that that your content will be divided into, which you will be sharing with the world. So the premise of the book becomes a little more technical, and that's something that obviously we will not be able to cover in this session. But premise of the book is nothing but the cause, the content, or the methodology that you want to share in a detailed manner, where you're trying to convince your audience that this is something that can work for you. That forms the premise of the book. Now, the next most important thing is a description about your book. Now, the books that I showed you over here on this slide, all of them have beautiful descriptions. And the reason why a description of the book is required is because till the time you don't read the description, and that description doesn't pull you, you're never going to be able to buy that book, right? So it's like when you want to watch a movie, you will always see the rating, that, okay, what is the rating that the movie has got? What are people talking about the movie? And is it worth my time to watch that movie? And once you see the rating and you feel you get good reviews, only then will you buy the ticket and you go to the theater to watch the movie, until and unless you are a movie buff, where any kind of movie is okay for you to watch in the theaters. So similarly, the description is nothing but a kind of a sales pitch that is done by the author to attract the readers, so that the readers resonate with the book and they pick up the book. Now, how do we write this description is again based on the premise of the book, because the premise is something which is convincing enough for the reader, and on that only your description is based. So once you are done with your premise, the description of the book also becomes a very easy way to actually reveal to your audience what the book is all about. And how do we write this description? We can write this description once we are clear about the premise. So this again becomes a part of your premise. Moving ahead, which is organization of your book. Once the premise is done and once the description is done, you will be able to organize your book into relevant chapters. And then you will be able to actually understand that which chapter should come first and which chapter should go next. And you will be able to format your index in that manner. Now, these steps are very easy once you have identified your audience, and once you have identified the challenge that you want to cater to with respect to the audience that you have chosen. Only after that will these steps become doable for you. Till the time your why is not clear, whom are you writing for is not clear, and uh, the audience is not clear, you will not be able, and the challenges of the audience is not clear, you will not be able to move ahead into the premise and the description and the organization. So the first 3 steps will actually help you achieve the next 3 steps and complete your book in a very, very organized way and in a very short and a limited amount of time. Because this is something that I have done, and this is something which I have experienced, where I was aware of the audience. I was aware that I'm passionate about writing a book. I was aware that the audience faces a challenge in terms of identifying the right kind of strategy to teach. And I was aware that this is something that even I want to learn, because I've already tried and tested these recipes. So I wanted to share it with the world. And that's when I took it up and I started writing about it. So it's very simple. These steps have to be done before you get into actually taking any course or even committing to writing. What is the audience you're catering to? What are the challenges? And what is it that one challenge which resonates with you, which you will be tempted to write for? So till the time that homework is not done, don't even think of venturing into writing your own book. So this was about organization of your book. And then of course comes the publication part. Now, coming back to Dr. Shafiq, who asked that whether, ebook should be published or whether we should get into a publication house and have a printed book. Well, Dr. Shafiq, that's personal. That's a very personal decision. But in today's time, Kindle books are doing very well. And there are a lot of self-publishing platforms that have come up. So you really don't need to knock at the door of any publisher. If you have an idea, you have written a book about that idea, you can go on these self-publication platforms, you can publish your book, and then you can market it on Amazon, Flipkart, because these self-publication house have connects with Amazon and Flipkart. So once your book is listed on the publication platform, it automatically gets listed on Amazon and other channels which you are given a choice to select. So that's something which you pay the self-publication platform for. So if it, I want my book to be available on Amazon.com, US, Canada, whichever country I wanted, that much amount I have to pay for the book to be available on all these kind of platforms. So the art of publication is something which is again a little technical, though I will not say too much of technicality involved in it. A little bit of technicality where there could be, there could be some amount of mentoring that would be required. But apart from that, it's become very simple in today's time to actually go ahead and publish your book without actually knocking at the doors of any publication houses. So that's how easy it has become. Printed versus ebook, both are equally good. And once you have published it on a platform, you get access to a printed book also. You can order your copies and you get access to Kindle as well as you get access to ebook as well. So this is something which is a personal choice, but to my knowledge, once you publish it, it will be made available in all the choice that you want it to be made available for. So that was about today's session, where only if you're passionate about writing, only if you're aware of your why, and you have done a thorough homework of your whom you want to write for, what is the audience that you want to write for, and what are the challenges that your audience faces, and you pick up one challenge. Till the time those steps are not done, it'll be difficult for anyone to venture into this art of writing a book. And after that, once you are done this kind of homework, then it's absolutely easy to go through it. And to make it more easier, what we are trying to do is we have devised a 5-day course where we are going to be hand-holding all of you who want to write a book. And in this 5-day session, we will be actually helping you to identify your why, to understand and brainstorm on the reasons why you want to write the book, understand and brainstorm the challenges that you want to pick. And then each and every step will be handholded. You will be handholded, where every day we will meet for 5 days together, and we will see to it that whoever participates will be able to come out of it and write a book, and we will publish it with you on a self-publication platform. So that's something that we have devised, where we will be doing it for you. Once you are done with the book, we will take the book and we will publish it for you, so that it is available on Amazon, Kindle, Flipkart, as well as the self-publication platform, so that you don't get daunted by the work that you will need to do. So this is something that we are trying to curate it in the month of December. Shilpi has already shared the link of what is going to come up in that, where right from identifying your why to publication of your book, everything will be done together, and we will see to it that in those 5 days, we all will be published. Yeah, Sridevi, you have something?
Send Debra home.
Sridevi, you can unmute yourself and you can share. So this was about the art of writing a book. In case you have any questions you would like to ask, or if there is anything that you would like to know more, you can please ask now. Any questions, any doubts, any roadblocks? You want to know something or you want to get started? Thank you, Dr. Shafiq, for joining so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sridevi.
Actually, we have sports day coming up,
Thank you.
which is in the evening. So the thing is that I will, if I'm missing it, that's a problem. It's three days we have. It's like divide. They have divided into three: primary, then boys, then girls.
You can join whenever you are ready. That's okay. We will keep
I'm
doing
missing
more
3
and more
days.
teachers. Yeah.
If I'm missing 3 days, then I don't know.
Yeah. So we want more and more teachers to write their books because we believe that teachers are a storehouse of knowledge and they must not keep that knowledge, they must share that knowledge. So that's where we decided that we will come up with this 5-day course where we will help and handhold teachers right from identifying their why to public publishing the book. And it's just uh, that you need to be sure about your why. That's it. Yeah. Thank you, Ms.
So
Neeta.
maybe a little bit more information, like basically in this 5 days, how to write the book will be taught,
We will be
or
writing together. Yeah.
or
So
you'll
we
be
will be writing.
writing during
Yes.
the class or
Yeah.
something.
Yes, we will
Okay.
be writing it together. We will be sharing tools which will help you to write better. There will be certain AI tools. There will be certain templates which will be shared with you. And those templates will be solved within the session because I know how homework is done. Anyway, teachers don't find time. So we will do it together. We will be logging in at that particular time. We will be solving the problems that you're facing. We will be also sharing tools which on the go you can actually record your thoughts, not necessarily that you have to write it down and pen it down. So all those tools will be shared, which will help you to then become ready with the content. And then all it will take is to pen it down, format it. The format will be shared with you so that all the books look uniform and they are in the perfect format. So that format will be shared with you. You just have to copy paste and put it in that format. A Tableau format will be shared with you. And then the Kindle version will be prepared. So how do you download the app and how do you actually create the KDP file? It'll be demonstrated so that we all do it side by side together. Everybody is sharing the screen and everybody is doing it together. And then the KDP version can be released. It can be published under what category your book will be published. That will also be shared with you because there are n number of categories on Amazon to publish your book. So what category your book falls into, that is also very, very important to select. So all those technicalities will be taken care. That's something that we want to do away with. But what we want to do is get you to write. That is what our motive is, where we want to keep doing these sessions. We want you all to get down to write. We want you all to consider it as any other achievement and not like a daunting achievement or a daunting task. Yeah. So we want you all to enjoy the process because once it is taken up, then all the participants, whoever participates in this, all of them will actually land up publishing the book on the same day. So we'll hit the publish button on the same day at a given particular time. So that is where it's going to be time bound and we are going to be answerable. So if you don't show up, we're going to call you, we're going to haunt you, and we're going to tell you to come no matter what. And that kind of commitment is something that's going to be required. So it's going to be intensive, but it's going to be a beautiful journey once you evolve. You know, the
So we
feeling.
have 5 days, we will write within 5 days.
Sorry,
So we will complete it within 5 days.
within 5 days. Yes, you will do it because it is time bound. We don't have eternity. It is time bound. It is 5 days. It is a 5-day commitment. Right from identifying your why to publication.
Such a
5
beautiful
days,
idea.
5
Thank you
days
so
more
much.
than enough. Yeah. I did it in 3 days. I'm giving 2 days grace.
Oh.
Yeah. We can look at all of those technicalities. We can look at all of those mental blocks, provided there is a goal, and provided it is time bound. So if we have the goal and if we have the commitment, then it will happen before 2024. Right. I hope this session has inspired you to think, and it has helped you to probably identify uh, which audience would you want to write for, and what challenge would you like to pick up. And it is going to sow the seed today, so that in the near future, in the next 3 months, I see some budding authors from our community writing a book. Food for thought. Thank you so much.
Just one more query.
Yes.
Suppose in case we miss a session in between one session, then then how we are going to move about?
Nothing much. If you miss a session, you can watch the recording. You can catch it. No issues. And it's not that 5 day mein nahi hua, so I will abandon you from the group. I'm still going to be there. So if at all there is something genuine that has come up, I will still handhold you for that one day which you couldn't show up. That's something that we will do for you. If it's a genuine reason, we will definitely do it for you.
Okay.
It's not like we will sign out from the group and we will say, sorry, I don't know you. You don't know me.
How long these sessions are going to be?
So these are going to be 1.5 hour session
One.
on the 5 days, 8 to 9:30, right, Shilpi? That is
Yeah,
what I
that's
shared.
right. 8 to
Yeah.
9:30.
We'll share the link again.
Okay.
Yes.
8 to 9:30. So the whole idea is to keep it small. Just five teachers is what I'm looking at, because if it becomes more, then a second batch will happen, because the kind of sharing and the kind of work that we will be doing, if there are more than 5 teachers, then more time will go into discussion. So I don't want to do that. So we will keep it limited to only 5 teachers in a group. 4 to 5 is an ideal group. And agar usse zyada participants aate hain, then we will create another batch. So we will not have all the participants in the same batch. 4 to 5 is what we are looking at.
So if you say a book, how many pages are you expected, or it's like, no, there is no
A
number
book
of
can
pages?
be a book can be 50 pages also. A book can be 100 pages also. When I created my first draft, my book was 72 pages. And I was not happy with it because I had expectations and I felt, oh my God, my first book and just 70 pages. And then I was like, oh, no. Let me increase the number of pages. That's like, the first thought that came to my mind, to which my mentor said that, your first draft is what you're going to publish. You're not going to think twice. You're not going to overanalyze. You're not going to get into that analysis paralysis mode that nahi, aisa karna chahiye tha, ye karna chahiye. No, nothing doing. Jo kar diya, first go pay, first draft. That's it. That is what, of course, you can revise the draft if you want to really add something to it. But if you're going to delay it and say that, nahi, isko mujhe karna hai, aur acha banana hai, ek mahine baat karungi, that's never going to happen. So the whole idea was to publish it. And then what he shared with me was something which stayed with me, that, okay, you can publish it. And then you can revise the draft. So after 6 months, I actually got the time to revise it and add a new chapter. Till that time, I had that thought कि नहीं करना है. But during that amount of time, I actually figured out that ये chapter मैंने नहीं डाला है. Let me add this chapter also, revise the draft, and then republish it on Kindle. So that's what I did after 6 months. So let the draft go out to the world. And that's what my mentor said, that instead of serving a thali, first learn to serve only dal and rice. Let people consume dal and rice, and then people will come to you for a thali. So that also stayed with me. So it's all about going out there, doing it, letting it go of you, and then freeing yourself of that. And then of course you're free to revise again and again, whichever version you want to, first version, second version, third version. People keep revising their books on Amazon. So many books we see the edited version. You will always see latest last edited on so and so date. So that's because the authors have revised it. Yeah. So that's always a possibility you will have to keep revising it. Oh, Pooja has paid up. Wow. Congratulations, Pooja. You're challenging
Thank
yourself
you.
and you're challenging
Yes.
me also. Okay. So this happens in December, by the way.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Just before, just 10 days, 15
Before
days
Christmas.
before, 15 days before
Christmas gift.
New
It
Year.
will be like a Christmas gift.
It'll be a New Year gift. Yeah. Christmas gift, actually. Yeah. So great. Welcome aboard. Yep. Okay, Shilpi. Zainab has, the screen is frozen. I don't know if she's there or not there. I think. Okay, anything else? Think about it, mull over it, chew over it, but don't sleep over it. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Have a nice weekend ahead. See you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Can
Bye-bye.
you give
Thanks,
some
Susan.
ideas? 1 minute.
Yeah, Prachi.
Will you give some ideas? Ideas for writing a book on which topic? I mean, I know the abstract field where I want to go about, but which specific should I write? I have to search still.
Yeah,
So
that's something which will happen in the mentoring sessions that we do. So we will need to do that. If you are completely confused, then we will need to do that. Yeah, because without that, you won't be able to start writing a book. Prachi, you can get in touch with us. I think 7:25, we have another session at 7:30. So you can definitely call us and get in touch with us. As
thank
far
you.
as
I have the payment. Thank you so much.
So as far as
Thank you.
identifying the reason, identifying the topic, that will happen in the mentoring session, a one-on-one personal mentoring session. So that cannot be done with to get everybody together because it will take away a lot of time. So it will happen in a personal one-on-one session.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks,
Thank
Ami.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.